Welcome to Financial Finesse. Here the host is Mr. Arif Malik. Today he has invited that same famous CPA of the Washington metro area, Mr. Tariq Shafi. Let's hear Mr. Malik's questions to CPA Shafi on retirement, Social Security, Medicare, and long-term care. This is quite a medically oriented topic, and I like that. I also like that the CPA plays a pivotal role in our healthcare system. I shall let you see this segment and jot down some notes and facts about life.
Welcome to another episode of Financial Finesse. And today we're going to discuss retirement. I know we have done it before with another guest of ours from the insurance businesses, but today I have the CPA, Mr. Tariq Shafi, with this. He's going to tell us more in detail the benefits, what we can get, how to maximize our benefits. And welcome, Mr. Tariq, again.
Thank you very much, Arif. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure. Like I said, we're going to talk about retirement, different Social Security aspects, other things today. Let's start with Social Security. Where do you see it going in the next 10, 20 years or whatever?
Well, before I get there, let me just say very quickly for our viewers that the Social Security system is our nation's primary retirement system. Okay. In other words, we as workers, whether we are self-employed or we are employees or in any other capacity earning compensation, we pay into the Social Security system. And that is for our retirement when we reach our, say, full retirement age. So that's the concept. The Social Security system is geared towards making sure that you have a baseline. You have some base, some retirement benefits that will tide you over retirement, disability, and God forbid, in case of your death, will take care of your survivors and dependent children, your parents, and so on. So that's the basic idea of Social Security. Having said that, Arif, Social Security is not meant to just give you what you are used to and to just make sure that you are financially stable during your retirement years. We've mentioned many times before that this system is geared towards workers and to provide them with some benefits that the government provides, but you must have others. Retirement vehicles, investments that you must do now so that you make up for that shortfall during your retirement twilight years.
Fantastic. And how does it, if you and me, for example, are in small business together, I reached the age that, okay, I'm tired, I'm getting old, let me call it a day. How does one get out of that scenario without hurting the business, without hurting the partner you've worked with him for such a long time, and how does it go there?
Well, for example, a business mom and pop operation, husband and wife team, for example, can have what's called a buy-sell agreement among each other. You can have a key man life insurance each on the business. So, for example, if you have a corporation and a husband and wife team are the two shareholders, in case one has to pull out of the business, the policy owner becomes a corporation. It pays the premiums on the buy-sell agreements, for example. It's a wonderful tax deduction that you can get, and you can reduce your taxable income like that. So you can buy me out, my partner.
Really?
Right. So
and it's open to everybody, not necessarily a husband and wife.
That's right. I just meant that as a,
I think I'll have to open a business with my wife then.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Good. And when you're retiring, what kind of vehicles you think one should have now at an age? Somebody who's like 50 years old and then he goes on to retire at 65, 67, you have like 15, 17 years to do.
Well, if I can just back up again with Social Security, you had mentioned to me on an earlier program that you were born in 1950.
Yep.
In your case, Arif, for example, your full retirement age is 66. And so it depends on when you're born. And I just made a note here. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67.
Wow.
Now, it varies between 1950, 55, and earlier,
So
1947 and so on. So that's when you get your maximum benefits at your full retirement age or age 70, whichever comes earlier.
Oh,
so
okay.
But age 70, you must start getting Social Security benefits. Now, you can take your Social Security benefits prior to your full retirement age, in your case 66. So at 62 you may, but your retirement benefits from the Social Security system are reduced.
Or they are reduced.
Right. And then coming back to your question, to supplement Social Security, which may not be enough because
Exactly.
you really, if you need 70%, say, of your pre-retirement income, Social Security will only be around 40% of your retirement income that you need. So you need to supplement, add, and have a process where you have other investments, a 401k plan, you can have KIOs for self-employed people, your employer may be providing you with a death benefit plan or profit sharing plan. All those things need to be in place other than Social Security.
Wow. So you're trying to tell me Social Security is just a small part to keep you alive, keep you running. but, but the other expenses, you have to plan it now.
That's right. I mean, yeah, to maintain your standard of living that you enjoyed during your productive years, gainful years, you have to supplement Social Security. Social Security is never, has never meant to just give you total financial security. You must supplement it. And in this day and age, harsh economic times, people are finding, and we get, as you know, we get calls from viewers who say that when I am in the process of retiring or when I retire, Social Security will not be there. We are the generation, we are guaranteed Social Security benefits. And whether, again, you're Republican or Democrat, it's nothing to do with your political standing or where you stand politically. People who are 50 and over will be grandfathered in, as it were. So it's the younger generation, our children, for example, who need not worry so much because, again, Social Security has been with us for decades. And it's for the, again, for the full faith and credit of the US government. I believe it will stay on for very, very long time, for decades to come. But again, is it liquid? Do we have a trust fund? Is it part of the general expenditure that the government makes? It's a dodgy situation, and hopefully the Congress will come and make sure that it becomes financially stable.
Fantastic. Something came to my knowledge the other day that in one of the state counties, they have reduced the fire workers and the police salary by $7.25 an hour. My question here is, which the viewers would also like to know, if they retire at a smaller salary today, somebody close to 67 is retiring tomorrow and has a pay cut of all that much, will he be paid as per the previous salary retirement or the current?
Excellent question. Generally speaking, the Social Security calculates your retirement based on your 10 most productive years. So 40 quarters. So once you have achieved that, you will get the maximum benefit that is statutorily guaranteed by the government. So you need not fear. Of course, what you must be careful of and concerned with is the reduction in your current income. So that cannot be pleasant. So you've got to maintain your standard of living or do some other side jobs, get into some business and use your years of experience in a particular field to see if you can be helpful gainfully and make other economic gains.
Fantastic. So Social Security will not be affected in any way, but his retirement or pension would be affected.
May well be affected. May well be, because it's your current income that dictates how much you are able financially to give to your profit sharing plan and any other employer-sponsored retirement plans. So it's a dodgy situation again, but you've got to supplement all that.
Another question which came to my mind, one of the viewers called me and asked me about, I'm trying to get out of the box a little bit, is about the gift tax.
Oh.
I believe it's $13,000 per year. And his question was, can we give like 5-year together or 4 years? Or, like my child needs $100,000 or $60,000. Can I give him one time as a gift and then take it, do not pay him for the next 4, 5, 6 years till the $13,000 is done?
That's right. Your original point is valid. Each donor, giver, can give up to $13,000 to each donee. Per year, that is. And so even if you give more than $13,000, it doesn't mean that you will be taxed for gift tax purposes. It just means that you will have to file a gift tax return. So I want to make sure that your viewers understand you can give up to $13,000 per donee and don't have to file a gift tax return. If you do give more than $13,000, then yes, you have to file a gift tax return, but the ultimate dollar value is so high that you don't have to pay gift taxes of any kind. And your point about making accumulating $13,000 several years, you can do that, and it really applies mainly to parents and grandparents who wish to provide for these, a bulky sum to their dependents' educational systems, to their schools and universities. The IRS says you can deduct all of that stuff in one fell swoop. So you can give bulk items for education purposes.
But the second question from one of my viewers was, is it good to have tax-deferred income now, pay the taxes today or later? As per a CPA and with your profession and your knowledge, what would you recommend there?
Well, excellent question. I would have to think about it, but normally I would say that I feel personally that tax rates will go up in the future. We are on a fiscal cliff here, and we can't sustain this economic hardship. Our tax revenues are far less by, I think, almost $2 trillion this fiscal year compared to our expenditures. So my feeling is, since we have to make up that shortfall, that perhaps not in this general election, but after a new president or the same president is elected, we might well have to raise tax rates. So if you can bring in the income possibly into this year, 2012, it might be taxed at a lower rate than if you were to defer it to, say, 2013 or 14.
So we would rather pay the taxes today than tomorrow?
In my opinion.
In your opinion?
Because my feeling is that tax rates will have to go up in the coming months and maybe a year or two.
Fantastic. Anything else you would like to share with our viewers on retirement? We have a few seconds more.
We haven't really talked about, Arif, Medicare and Medicaid, but perhaps we can get an...
Yeah, we'll have to have a complete program for that, because that will go into detail, Medicare, Medicaid, all these things.
These are all wrapped up with Social Security.
All wrapped up with Social Security. Thank you very much, Mr. Tariq, for being on our program. And once again, it was a pleasure having you on our program.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Arif.
Thank you.
Politics is one field that we all should be aware of, but linked with that are the money matters and financial statuses of life. Speaking of finance, this brings us to Financial Finesse. Here the host is Mr. Arif Malik and his guest, that famous CPA of our region, Mr. Tariq Shafi.